This is a replay, a transcript of the Sword World 2.5 game we played on our Discord server. Sword World 2.5 is a Japanese TTRPG tabletop role-playing game developed by Group SNE and Kei Kitazawa. You can find its English translation on our Reddit. For this game, combat was done using advanced combat. Momo was a GM, and Auquid, Nisa, and Juba were the players in this game. Character introduction. Typhon Notier. A fighter 2, Sage 1, Nightmare Elf. She is a nightmare elf, and that may as well be not considering her rough mannerism. She was born in undisclosed village/city in the Tanodan region. She took up adventuring from her parents and learned a lot during her childhood about the things in the world, and her strong body made her take up on fighter as a skill rather than sorcery or another kind of magic, much to her wizard father's disdain. She got her guild license and hopes to see an adventure through the world as her parents did. Rex Bolt. He is a 21 years old male, Lycant, Grappler 2, Enhancer 1, Ranger 1 with a bad attitude and more than a few chips on his shoulder. He might be a bit of a shithead, but not enough to be entirely unbearable for short periods of time. He's joining this expedition hoping to suplexing some demons and show his home village that he isn't a completely lost cause. Failing that, he can at least enjoy the all-expense trip, make some money, and generally get to something productive for once. Grondal Ironhammer. He is a male dwarf, Priest 2, Marksman 1, Scout 1. He is from Kingsfall and gained expertise in railroad construction and engineering after a high-level spell caused him to have vivid hallucinations of a sentient train. He became a priest of Strasford and advocated for the construction of railways, traveling to spread the word about the benefits of trains. Grondal is determined to be the best railroad builder and often hums train noises.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my game. The adventure is titled Death on the Infinite Express. All aboard. Now, without further ado, let's begin. You open your eyes and find yourself on a train. It's the Infinite Express. The day prior, you boarded this train heading towards the Corganer region to fulfill a job you have been tasked by the Adventurers Guild in Kingsfall. There have been disappearances as of late on the Infinite Express. People who went on the Express but never arrived at their destination. As the Infinite Express has no stops between Kingsfall and Rainers, this is highly unusual. As such, you have been tasked to ascertain what might have happened. Your recollection of what happened between your departure and now is hazy, but it seems like you might have dozed off. You are currently in what looks to be the sleeping quarters of the train. The trip to Rainers is quite long, so naturally, a car dedicated to sleep is a natural fit. You, however, didn't find yourself on the beds but rather standing in the hallway of the car. What do you want to do?
I'd like to look at my surroundings to see if there is anything amiss, as well as ask my companions, do any of you remember sleeping while standing or meandering all together and falling asleep?
You can roll an observation check.
6.
Grondal, a dwarven man with whiskers, looks around, wondering how he could daze at the train departure. Yes, I believe I'm missing some of my memories.
Scout, in this case, if you have that.
11.
Rex will wonder whether he had too much to drink last night, given the haziness of his memory and the strange position he found himself in. Scratching his head in annoyance, he yawns. Nah, but at least I don't have a headache. Already a better morning than most. The Lookin responds, stretching wide and swishing his tail around.
Okay, so all of you notice two things. It's pitch black outside. Maybe it is night, maybe you are in a tunnel, but you can't see anything outside. The train car seems completely empty. There are traces that the beds have been in use recently, but you can't seem to find anyone. There are two doors at each end of the hallway, naturally. Grondal, upon looking around further, finds that there is a hatch on the roof just above you.
Where would they lead us normally, assuming we recognize this as the same train we boarded originally?
Probably to the other train cars?
Well, yes, but what cars exactly? I mean.
Strange. No one else is around, and it is strangely dark outside. A hatch above. Naturally, for this model, there should be one.
There are signs next to the doors. One says storage, and one says second class.
Do you need a lift to lower the ladder for the hatch? I say to Grondal.
There doesn't seem to be a ladder.
Huh. Is it normal for it to not have a ladder?
Does Grondal know the model of this train? Its specifics?
Roll adventurer level plus intelligence.
12.
Normally, the ladder would be hidden out of sight somewhere. There is usually a service closet at the end of the train car. If you can get in there, you could probably find a ladder there.
In that case, Rex will walk up to the second class door and, looking at the two of them examining the hatch, say, "While you play with the roof, I'll go and see what's up." Has to be someone around, right? Saying that and shaking his head, he will open the door, or attempt to.
Hey, we shouldn't separate. We don't know if we are even in the same place we were at.
Hand on the handle, he waves her off with his other hand while glancing back. Yeah, I'm not going far, Mom. Just checking the other car.
You open the door to the second class car. You are greeted by a fairly mundane sight. There are some passengers here, silently minding their own business. At the end of the hall, you notice a tall figure that you recognize as an employee of the Jordan Railway Company. They seem to be preoccupied with some passengers right now.
Ladder will have to wait. Maybe these people know more about this situation.
Watch your tongue, boy. And yeah, I agree. Let's speak to the passengers. I follow Rex to the passenger car, hopefully, asking them if they know anything or the staff member.
Same.
See, he says, pointing into the car. He shakes his head with a little sneer and continues walking into the car and heading toward the tall figure in the back. Hey, Mr. or Miss, if he can tell the gender from afar, where we at? Is it night already? He shouts at them as he approaches from his side of the car.
I try to speak with the railway employee first myself, since I know people don't usually like nightmares.
There is one other thing you notice as you step into the train car. You are met with deafening silence inside. Nobody is talking. All you hear is your own footsteps as you approach the railway employee. It was quiet before in the sleeping car, but it is way more noticeable how silent it is with people around. It is very eerie.
Hello? Mister? Do you know what exactly is going on? I ask him, a bit weary about the strange sensation, my gut telling me we may be in the place where people disappeared before.
Oh, hello, dear passenger. May I see your ticket, please? The employee responds.
Yeah, sure. I say, reaching into my pocket where I have my train ticket.
You can't find it.
I guess Grondal also doesn't have it.
Huh. Must have left it on my bed. Give me a second, and I'll return with it, I said, confused as I knew for a fact I didn't pull it out.
What are you guys doing? Losing your tickets? Embarrassing. Rex says with a smile and reaches for his own likely missing ticket. Huh.
As all of you check your pockets upon being reminded that, you are on a train, you should have your tickets with you, none of you can seem to find your tickets.
I retreat or try to while remaining alert just in case.
Strange, indeed. I have a feeling that this might be something with this train. What race is this employee?
Hard to say. You could roll monster knowledge.
Could I try to?
Sure.
10. As I retreat, I take glances at the employee as I don't remember seeing anyone with such a build before.
As you take a closer look at the looming figure, you can't discern what race this strange man belongs to. For one, he has his coat pulled up right to his face, and then he also wears a big hat, cloaking his physical form in shadows. He seems nice enough, though, eerie as his appearance may be in this strange situation you find yourself in.
I cannot be sure, but we might be on another train.
How did that happen? Rex says, stopping his frantic ticket search, and growls a bit. Think we found the quest destination, train lover?
Rude, but the marvel of the mind is indeed to be beheld.
I'm not a train lover myself, but I'd say we have hit the nail on the head. Now, let's retreat and look for our tickets before that thing gets more suspicious. I say, suggesting to the party to go back and make a plan.
I think we might be in a special train, one that has a special core, abyssal core, if you know what I mean. Grondal will also walk back and try to find a ladder.
I help Grondal look for the said ladder. As I took a quick peek at the bed I thought I slept in, just in case the ticket was there, even though I found that doubtful.
Rex follows the two, throwing a backward glance at the train employee from whom we just walked away so suddenly and seeing whether he's following us or otherwise responding.
The train employee is minding his own business, not paying much attention to you guys. He does notice you staring and waves at you in a friendly manner before pulling his attention back elsewhere. You guys looking for the tickets can go and roll observation using adventurer level. I think looking through stuff is a mundane task that doesn't necessarily benefit from scout or ranger.
10.
You find for tickets. Each ticket has a different color and is slightly translucent: red, green, yellow, and blue. Meanwhile, Grondal can use scout observation since you are looking for a secret sort of hatch.
9.
You manage to find the hatch, thanks to you knowing where to look roughly. As expected, the hatch was hidden and merged into the wall to make it less obvious. Upon opening the hatch, you find some emergency medication, 2 life grass, as well as a ladder.
Hey guys, I found the tickets. I believe, at least. Is anything written on the tickets?
Infinite Express, Dordan Railways, as well as a serial number.
I have found a ladder and some life grass.
And I found the mister back there don't care too much about us, for right now.
We now can pass with the tickets to see what is going on or use the ladder.
Well, this situation sure is strange regardless. That person doesn't seem hostile to us yet, however. Since we are here, maybe we could just check the roof of the car before advancing.
What you gonna see out there in the darkness? Guess we could take a peek at least.
Grondal will use the ladder to go to the top of the car.
The hatch seems stuck, but nothing you can't fix with a little elbow grease. Adventurer level and strength modifier.
12, strong.
12 is enough. You force the hatch open and climb up to find yourself on top of the ceiling, looking up at the floor of the sleeping car.
Do you see anything out of the ordinary up there? I ask Grondal.
As disorientating as that is, it seems like you are in the train, but now up is down, and down is up.
M. Weird stuff.
If you climb all the way up, you stand on the ceiling.
Inverted gravitational train. I thought it was only drunken rumbling of Professor Snacks.
So we have been moved to another train somewhere else then.
You may look around if you wish.
I climb back and let others look, as this is too much for a rational mind to take.
I'll check the above.
Inver what? Anyway, can you get anywhere from there or no? Seeing him climb down, guess not. And with that, Rex just waits, sees what those two are up to, and keeps watch on the doors.
Grondal looks shocked and sits.
Okay, so Rex looks around. Roll an observation check.
8.
No luck on the ticket front, but since Typhon already took care of tickets, that seems okay. You do find a pipe and a couple of papers for rolling cigarettes and 1 life grass, though.
He'll happily pocket that then.
Meanwhile, Typhon climbs up and checks the roof. There is one immediate thing you notice upon looking up. Someone is lying on the floor.
He mutters to himself, if we can have such trains here, then maybe we can modulate abyssal shards into the core and make it work. Yes, that's it. It's possible. It's all possible.
Guys, I found someone on the floor of the roof here. Should I bring it down?
You can also look into the sleeping cabinets since the walls don't go all the way up to the ceiling, and you do see some people sleeping in there.
We need to find an architect of this magnificent train. So bring them over. Grondal stands up confident.
Well, getting to them will be difficult because you are stuck on the ceiling as gravity holds you there, and they are 2.5 meters off the ground. Seemingly gravity only inverted for you.
Guess we'll leave this person here for now. Sorry, stranger, We'll come back for you once we figure out this strange happening, I say as I went down the ladder. So what did we all find?
As you do try to reach for them, you notice something. The person you were trying to reach was you.
Can I look back up and see if I find the others too?
Yes, and yes, indeed, you see the other two lying on the floor as well.
Okay, I do have some news. They are a bit strange and disturbing, though. We are those people lying down in the ceiling. I think we're on a kind of mirror, place or location.
Mirrored inverted gravitation train. MIGT. This train is something.
I said I didn't wake up with a headache, but now I feel one coming on, Rex says, rubbing his head irritatingly.
Hey, Raxia to train nerd. Please, respond. We need to figure out a way out of here and try to rescue anyone who got trapped here, if they're still here or even alive.
Well, we should ask at least an employee about this train and show tickets. Maybe look at the locomotive. I feel like those people should not be real.
Another thing you notice looking around up there, the door to the storage is half opened. Someone is sleeping in the doorway, holding the door open.
Hey, was the storage always open? I ask my companions.
The storage down on the ground floor is not open, no.
No, that's probably a mirrored train feature, MTF. This MTF of the MIGT is cool.
Stop abbreviating everything.
Rex sighs and goes to open the storage door.
The door is locked.
Locked.
Can you move toward the open door?
So now we know that a door being open on the mirror world doesn't mean it's open over our part.
Can break it down probably if you want me to, but, he says, glancing behind to the other door, might not want to anger the conductor.
It should be possible, even for a dwarf. Judging from the door and the distance to the ceiling.
Let's try to move using this mirrored train feature. Of this mirrored inverted gravitational train, or MTF of the MIGT.
I bring a hand to my face. All right, what do you need me to do?
I want to climb the ladder and travel toward the open door.
So, you want to move to the inverted storage.
Yes.
The inverted cargo looks relatively normal. Boxes, crates, what you would expect. One thing that you do notice is stones littering the floor. Also, right in front of you on the ceiling is another hatch.
I try to open the hatch and say, there is another hatch of an inverted car, HIC for short. I will open it.
I wait for him to do so, remaining alert on the train.
Rex is also just standing around on watch, waiting for what this all comes to.
The dwarf just went to the other train, I tell Rex as I look up.
Great. Let's hope he doesn't like it more than this train, or he might really not come back.
It opens without much issue, allowing you to jump down. Since it's just 2.5 meters down, it should be safe to jump.
Can I see how to open the door to the storage? Then I will jump down.
The lock mechanism is inside. You can easily force the door open from here.
We'll do that. I assume there is nothing of note in normal storage.
I don't know. He seems quite happy to be trapped on a train. Sadly for him, we don't, so hopefully we can figure out the cause. The sooner, the better.
Rex nods in agreement, folding his arms as he does.
I must present this to the church. This is an important find, he mutters as he tries to open the door.
Okay, upon landing, you tumble a little but are not much worse for wear. You bump into something, though. As you look up, you are struck with awe as you see a statue of your god.
Oh my god. Literally. He says a prayer to Strasford.
You then move to open the door, I assume, after a moment of reverence.
Yes.
Hey, Grondal, are you okay there? I heard you shout. I said, worried after hearing the dwarf shout, holding the handle of my heavy axe.
Everything is fine. We are blessed.
Okay, it is relatively easy to lift the bolt locking the storage car.
God is with us.
The others may enter the storage.
I feel we're not fine and definitely not blessed. He says, grumbling. But he'll follow into the storage.
I enter the storage a bit worried by this overzealous priest, though he seemed to know his trains at least.
Behold! He is with us. Showing the statue. He is smiling and has tears in his eyes.
I nodded respectfully as I noticed the statue. What does this mean then? I know that most trains have a shrine for him.
It'd be a lot nicer if he could keep an eye on his own trains instead of letting them do whatever this is.
Sacrilege.
Facts.
There is a purpose in our MIGT adventure. God sent me on the mission. He even sends you with me.
Let's calm down, both of you.
But there is more. The statue starts to glow, and in front of it appears a figure of light. You are met with a manifestation of the statue, a vision of Strasford.
You have done well finding me, my son.
His voice booms.
But not all is well. You have met with a terrible fate. This reality you find yourself in is safe for the moment, but your reality is not. This is but a collective dream, dreamed by you and yours, vaguely linked to the dreams of the passengers on board the Infinite Express. It was all I could do to protect you, collecting you here, so you may escape this realm and into the awakened world. Evil is afoot, and ere you succumb to the evils that lurk on this train, you must awaken and safekeep the passengers. My shrine has been desecrated, limiting my influence. Thou know that I still watch over you and yours, my son. Take heart, for the exit lies at the helm of the train. I cannot speak of how you may reach your goal, but full well, I believe that you will. This dream realm was constructed to keep you, so you might never escape before your real self breaths their final breath. Know that I did all that I could to make a path for you. I believe you already hold the key to forge ahead. My blessing be with you. May it guide you on your way. Safe travels.
Strasford explains, before dissipating into faint embers of light that soon too will disappear. You receive Strasford's blessing, giving you +1 to all intelligence and spirit-related checks.
I heed your wise words. We have a goal in mind. We have a purpose. To cleanse this place of evil. To the helm. And don't forget the tickets. Order is important.
Oh. So, my theory was right, after all. I have all of our tickets. Let's head forward to the helm then. We heard the divine voice, after all. However, it is strange there are 4 tickets.
Rex stands there a bit dumbfounded before the statue and, after it finishes, folds his arms again and mumbles, well, I guess he is keeping an eye on his trains. With his tail hanging low. Seeing the situation, he gives the statue a respectful nod himself and turns to Grondal. All right, little man, lead the way.
We shall move forward to where the staff member was.
Yes.
Good, good. Enjoy your stay. Thank you for traveling with the Infinite Express. He responds after looking at your ticket, going back to his business.
Well, we sure found out a lot. Let's just keep going.
Let's move to the next car then.
Yes.
The employee blocks your way. My apologies, but you need a rose-colored ticket to proceed to the dining car. Very sorry.
Okay, who here has a good color theory?
Aw. I do.
Only in colors of metals.
For the rose, we need to mix red and blue.
Neither me nor my looking. Insert a joke about dog color blindness here.
You overlay the red and the blue ticket, making a purple ticket.
Oh, true. They are true red and blue.
It is still slightly transparent after being overlaid like this.
I add yellow to it.
Adding yellow makes a mostly opaque, rose-colored ticket.
Is this the ticket, mister? I show the ticket to him.
He looks at your ticket for a second. Very fine, madam. This should be valid for the 3 of you. Enjoy your meal. He opens the door for you.
Good thing my parents taught me about the magic color overlapping stuff. Let's continue onwards then.
Rex nods appreciatively, not bad horny. He says, pushing ahead a bit because he sure would love some breakfast.
Hey, my horns are not that big. I said as I followed behind him.
You enter the dining car. There are tables all along the hall. At the end of the train car, you spy 2 little rooms right next to the door, pretty obviously labeled as the men's and ladies' rooms, respectively. There is also a small counter with a waitress. This train car seems a little more lively, less eerily silent. Passengers are engaged in food and drink, as well as mild conversation. However, upon further inspection, you notice that the patrons, their food, and their tableways seem intangible. They almost seem like shades, translucent silhouettes of people. The server lady is the only one who seems tangible. At the end of the car, obviously, there is a door labeled as first class. The door is noticeably different. It seems heavier than the ones before, more robust. There are also 3 holes in the door with a little sign above them.
Glancing around, does Rex see any real tangible-looking food?
Not at any of the tables, no.
Rex deflates at the lost prospects of food. Ugh, not even a bite. Let's just get this over with. He marches on to the waitress.
What are the signs on the door?
It says, for health and safety reasons, please ensure that you have the proper tools to consume the food on this train. Dordon Railways, as you approach, you step on a fork. That seems tangible.
I pick it up.
All right, you have a fork now.
Power 0 weapon? I don't have a melee weapon.
I look around the room, looking at the shadowy figures as well as the server lady, trying to discern if there was anything different about her.
Well, she looks like a regular human. That's one clear difference.
Excuse me, miss? I ask her. Could I order some food or a drink? I ask her to try to get some information or if she even responds.
What would you like? She answers bluntly.
Any drinks you recommend here?
Iced coffee seems to be all the rage these days.
Can we get to the first class, miss?
I only serve food and drinks. I think if you need to go to the first class, you need to follow the instructions on the door, sir.
I shall try iced coffee then if you so recommend, though I'd rather take alcohol. I'm working so, rather not.
She pulls a tall glass from below the counter, then a can, and a bottle of milk, and prepares an iced coffee. She then takes a bottle of brandy and pours a shot into the coffee. Finally, she sticks a tall spoon into the glass. There you go, miss.
Thank you.
One more detail is that the door has no handle. Thus, you can't really open the door.
I want to search for more cutlery.
Roll observation.
15.
Rex observes Typhon and her coffee expectantly.
One of the holes seems slightly curved. The fork goes in without a problem. There is no more cutlery present, save for a tall spoon. Upon further inspection, there is a concave hole, but it's broader. The tall spoon wouldn't fit in there.
I try the coffee since I have it in my hand.
This MIGT seems difficult for my mind.
It tastes delicious. You sit down to enjoy your coffee and don't really feel like getting up anytime soon.
How is it? Says Rex standing next to her.
Grondal will also join the table. I think we need to solve a puzzle and find fitting items to put in the holes. MIGT is toying with us with this. I don't have a name for holes.
I'm not one for these kinds of drinks, but this one tastes amazing. Also, here's a spoon. It may fit with the fork there in the door. I say, handing the spoon to Grondal.
The waitress suppresses audible laughter upon hearing, I don't have a name for holes.
Rex does not suppress his. I'm sure you don't, little buddy.
Really? Like, holy cardia, really? I say towards Grondal. I let out a small laugh as I finished sipping the coffee.
Helping our local economy succeed, HOLES, holes. Indeed, this is the true meaning of this dining car, he mumbles.
This adventure went from horror, mystery, to comedy reel very fast.
I live for these moments.
After some discussion and insight rolls, the party decided to order. The hole is straight and narrow. A knife sounds like it could fit well.
Steak it is.
And what is the shape of the third one?
Concave. Like a spoon could fit, but the spoon you got doesn't.
So, what about a nice soup? Could I have some soup, please?
You get served borscht, a Korganer region classic.
From a Silmarat kingdom, a lost recipe.
Does it come with a spoon?
It would be weird if it didn't.
Well, it'd be a waste if a perfectly good soup would get ruined just to continue, so give me a bit. I decided to taste it for at least a minute or two, then I cleaned the spoon with a paper towel and used it for the door.
It fits. And the waitress is currently frying a steak.
I'm sated with knowledge. So we'll pass.
Rex thanks the charming waitress and digs into his steak. He does eat all of it before handing you the knife unless you insist, at which point he hands you the knife and eats the rest with his hands.
I pat my belly after I taste it. Damn, that was good. But that's enough eating, at least for me.
I'll take the rest after I'm done with this then.
Go ahead.
Can't fight on an empty stomach.
Heh, that is true. A dwarven friend of mine used to say that. Also, can't fight if you're fully sober, but I'd rather just be mostly sober.
I'd drink to that. In fact, I think I will. He says, taking a sip of his rum. Well, not a sip. A mouthful.
We use our triad of culinary to open the door. Each holding pieces of power, Strasford is looking at us. Etc.
I help Grondal with the puzzle, pushing my piece in.
I have an epic image in mind.
After Rex is done, he'll insert his knife.
The 3 culinary warriors. We ought to come with team poses too.
The cutlery sticking out of the door seems to allow you to open the door with little effort.
Let's continue then, I say as I push it forward.
Rex rubs his arm across his face to clean the grease one last time and follows Typhon.
Let's push onward then. Upon entering the next car, you need to make a right turn to enter the hallway proper. After making the bend, however, you are met with a strange sight. The hallway stretching and spiraling. The floor becomes the walls become the ceiling becomes the walls, and the walls become the floor again before ending at another corner similar to the one you just passed. Along the spiraling corridor, there are private cabins, 6 in total. Each is labeled with a big, bold letter. In order, they are QOXSBI.
Okay, this is pretty trippy. I knew the Korgana region had some weird stuff, but I don't think we're even deep in Korgana yet, right?
An abbreviation? Let me think. Also, it is a very confusing design for spiral mirrored inverted gravitational train, SMIGT.
Maybe I shouldn't have had so much to eat.
No spiraling, and now this.
How do you proceed?
Let's see what the cabins are all about, I guess, Rex says, attempting to walk to the nearest one. So, cabin Q, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Let's check the cabins one by one.
Agree.
As you walk, it looks like the hallway is spiraling around you. For the others, it looks like you are walking on the walls. The cabin is locked.
What about the next one?
Locked. You see the same shades inside you saw in the food car. Some are talking, laughing, and having a merry time. Others are reading or looking out of the window. There is no sound, though. All you hear is the sound of the train and the tracks, muffled from the outside.
What material are the doors made of?
It's a normal wooden door with a window to look into the cabins.
I guess we can try every door.
Every door is locked.
Typhon has an inside debate as one of her hands starts reaching for the handle of her double head axe. Do any of you know how to open locks?
I believe I do. Even if it is ASMIGT. What about the door to the next car?
After making the final bend, you are met with another heavy door. This one, however, does not feature 3 holes, but instead a large combination lock inset into the door. The cylinders show a 6-letter combination. Above them, a sign is set with "I'm always 3 steps ahead" engraved on it.
Rex sighs.
Your god sure likes to puzzle his followers. I said jokingly, but half not.
Here we go again. He examines the lock, thinking to himself.
For the record, Stratford said that this isn't really his realm, but rather a realm made to keep you asleep. He made it possible to escape. Otherwise, you'd be stuck forever.
Okay, so, what does the door say? Grondal?
Grondal relays the message. I have an idea. We can move 3 cabins at the time of entering the next letter.
3 steps ahead. Maybe we should check the 3rd and 6th door then?
Let's do that. My thought was 3rd, 6th, 2nd, 5th, 1st, 4th letter.
The doors are locked.
I know how to unlock them.
Oh no.
Just because, I will try XIOBQS. From my theory.
XIOBQS does not work. But,
Oh?
as you turn the cylinders, you notice that they have the alphabet. In order, so puts the alphabet in front of players.
Huh, so it's the first 6 letters of the alphabet if you jump in 3s? CFILOR?
CFILOR does not work.
So, what about the 3rd letter ahead of the ones on the cabin?
Oh, true.
QOXSBI. So, SQZUDK.
SQZUDK does not work.
TRAIN.
Train is not a 6-letter combination. I imagine Typhon shoving the others aside and saying, "Let me try," and then entering train just to find out it does not fit.
TRAVEL there. Travel.
TRAVEL does work. The door unlocks. Congratulations. You have won.
Once again, my fingers were faster than my head. But nonetheless, I have found it. There's a reason why I am Sage.
That's looking expletive.
Let us see what the contestants won. You gently open the door, and you are met with pitch-black darkness on the other side. Shortly upon opening the door, you are sucked by a great force, as if the very air inside the train is sucked outside, you with it. You fall. The last thing you see is the light inside the train as it fades out of view and into darkness.
That's scary.
Looking expletive.
You suddenly jolt awake. It feels like you have fallen from a great height, but physically, you seem all right, save for your heart racing.
Typhon curses in Elven due to the strange situation.
Rex closes his eyes and breathes in deeply to calm himself for a moment. As he opens his eyes afterward, he focuses on examining himself and his surroundings.
After gathering your wits about you, you hear the sound of the train and the rails muffled from the outside. You hear gentle snoring from close by. You hear the sound of the wind whistling through. You hear the sound of a door slamming open and shut repeatedly. You feel the wind on your skin. You are back in the real world.
I try to get up and look around. Can I even see anything? I also check around my body to make sure nothing is amiss. Is everyone okay? I ask the others.
I think.
Your eyes are a little heavy still, and you feel groggy, but you can see. There is this aftertaste of coffee in your mouth.
Rex tries to grab the pipe that is on his person, the one he found on the other train.
You actually still have the smoking pipe. After holding it for a moment, you realize what you just grabbed.
I feel a bit strange, but overall I think I'm fine. Do I still have the tickets?
You have 4 tickets. 3 are on beige paper, and 1 is rose-colored. The rose-colored one says meal ticket on it.
I'm in one piece, so far. Still, have the stuff from the dream train too. He goes to stretch.
As you do, you suddenly feel a breeze.
Looks like I still have the ticket from that place. I place it back in my inventory as I imitate Rex, stretching my body as I look toward the location of the door that was opening and closing.
It's the storage door. A railway worker is sleeping soundly in the doorway as the door repeatedly slams him in the head.
Talk about being thick-headed. Rex goes to shove the man into storage fully so he stops hitting his head on the door.
Maybe his skull is made of pure steel. Anyway, shall we check it out?
Guess they're all still dreaming. Unless this one's just a special case. Try and wake someone up, maybe.
We probably should still get to the head.
The head of the train, you mean? But where is it?
The locomotive.
It turns out the man is a runefolk. So close.
Is there anything inside the storage? I mean, out of the ordinary.
Nothing out of the ordinary, just some cargo and the remains of Strasford's desecrated altar.
Dwarf about to freak out in 1, 2, 3.
He is shocked.
Can we open the door to move ahead in the train? I'm guessing this is the train car, right?
You wanna go ahead to the second-class car? Sure?
Once we are done here, we should head towards the locomotive, as our resident train otaku said. Yeah.
To the first car. Go. God calls us.
Calm there, priest. You don't have a weapon. I say, grabbing him before he moves ahead of us.
Sacrilege. SMIGT will be done.
It is, as Strasford said, someone had desecrated his altar.
I don't have my bow.
Are you gonna charge into a fight with your bow on melee range?
Easy, a fork.
Anger is good and all dwarf, but we should calm down, collect ourselves, and prepare for whatever is on the train. It can't be good or want friends.
A tiny bit.
I hope they don't. I want to punch something after dealing with so many head twisters, which I can't punch.
Yo, Rex, move your lichen ass here. Let's be ready to see whatever is inside. If we find any survivors, let's try to protect them too.
Rex cracks his knuckles. Oh, you don't have to tell me twice. And he moves up front with Typhon, and I take it the party starts to head toward the locomotive.
Grondal will follow them.
Plot twist, more puzzles. Second plot twist, climax fight is a giant jigsaw puzzle monster.
He will punch something if it is the last thing he will do.
Thankfully for you, the time for puzzles has passed. Girl, we need some. Girl, we need some action if we're gonna make it like a true survivor.
I grab my axe to be ready in case of a fight and open the door, being the front line of the group after all. And even if it didn't look like it, my armor was very resilient as all hits got redirected to the armored bits.
Rex will open the door.
You see a normal train car. Rows of seats from one end to the next, opposing each other. As you might have suspected, there are people slumped over in a lot of them. All are sleeping. Some seem to have either toppled over in their slumber or fallen asleep as they were walking, as some sleepers also litter the hallway. You also see the nice railway employee you saw in the dream earlier. His hat has fallen off, revealing him to be a nightmare. You can surmise that he might have chosen his attire to hide his heritage to avoid persecution. There is, however, something more alarming you notice. A creature is looming over one of the slumbering passengers. It has black, oily-looking skin, 2 wings, and a number of tentacles reaching out of its horrific form, all wrapping around its victim as it seems to suck the life force out of them. Soon enough, you notice more of them wriggling around. They are yet to notice you, but you feel like they will any second now.
How many are there?
It's hard to say, but you are guessing 5.
Does Rex see any way to approach one quietly and possibly get the jump on it? Trying to stalk around and then pounce, basically. I take it rather unlikely inside a train, however.
Probably not, no.
In that case, Rex quietly turns to the others, whispering, "We set to go, right?"
I want to cast Field Protection before combat on all, if possible.
You may do that, but combat will break out right after.
Well, it is probably okay.
Then let's have Grondal do his Field Protection, and then we can get dug in. How about that?
The victim of the creature you noticed first lets out a pained gasp as he seems to leave out his dying breath.
I cast the spell and we attack. Spell casting is 4.
Well, that is enough. Combat. During combat preparation, the party had nothing to do, rolled good monster knowledge, and went first with their initiative checks. The group recognized monsters as Dream Eaters. Dream Eater. Dream Eaters are small, hairless diamonds with bat-like wings, similar in appearance to imps. Their skin has a rubbery, shiny look to it and an ink-black color. Several tentacles sprout from its body, used to hold their victims down before sinking its teeth into them. They are fairly weak and thus usually only attack creatures in sleep. While not a huge threat by themselves, they can be dangerous in large groups and when appearing with their master, the demon Barku. You also know their weakness, +3 physical damage.
Oh, they are weak to physical. Cool. I transfer knowledge to the party.
Break their spine. It works well.
I can do that much. Grappler flex.
Master.
They are dream eaters. Don't let them lock eyes with you. Just snap them in half.
I ain't suplexing or armor piercing these. They look very Lovecraftian, so much so I thought they were straight up mythos creatures ported at first.
They are vaguely based off of Japanese mythology. But okay, now that you have all settled with combat prep, you may take your turn.
I'll be spending my turn awooing. I mean going into beast form, but I'll move up to 1 as well so that they don't all swoop onto Typhon alone.
I rush forward and attack one of them.
Alright, roll accuracy.
15.
That's a clean hit.
Now I'll roll power. 11.
Oh wow.
That's a crit. That's already 11 plus 5 minus 3, so that's 13 damage. Do I roll again? Or just kill it?
I'll allow you to take the overflow to the next target.
Oh, cool.
Not quite how that works, but after some calculations, both are very much dead.
Typhon prepares her axe and smashes the monster on her left side first. With her centrifugal force, she continues the spin and throws the corpse of the dead nightmare creature into the other, and with a swift upheaval slash, sends both of them to meet their foulmaker. She excitedly speaks in Elven, saying, "How do you like that?"
You at least managed to save one person, possibly 2. One of the victims isn't breathing.
I will shoot the furthest one to distract and to kill.
Okay, roll accuracy.
Aimed attack 1. 8.
So that doesn't hit.
That's my turn.
Rex is going to activate beast form with a howl, and as his head deforms and reshapes itself into that one of a great gray wolf, he will move up closer to the fight, preparing to jump into the fray.
Finally, some action.
He growls out and looking. That's his turn. Can I move through Typhon? Since it is a small train car.
Yes, you can. The hallway is wide enough for 2 people to easily cross each other. They are built so Lildray can fit.
Then he shall. Not the most strategic play, but he is not the most strategic player. No short girl outdoing him.
Short? Hey, I'm 162 centimeters tall, at least.
He'd use her head as a rest for his arms if the horns didn't poke him if he tried.
Okay, enemy turn. By the way, I will sometimes be rolling which player gets attacked by what monster. 3, 3, and 2. Surprisingly enough, 2 are trying to hit Grondal with a dreamy gaze, and 1 is trying to hit Typhon. Grondal, 2 willpower checks DC 10. Typhon, 1 willpower check DC 10. Don't forget, you still have the blessing. That's also a +1 to willpower checks.
12 and 16. +4 to spirit.
14.
Grondal, you are hit with 2 Dream Eater's gazes, but your unshakable belief in Strasford and your holy mission keeps you awake. Typhon, the idea of iced coffee fills you with determination. You will not yield.
Typhon sends murder stares back to the monster too.
Alright, that means it's your turn again.
In that case,
You can go first.
Rex shall take the lead now that he is there. First, he steadies himself with hefty breath in and an adjustment of his muscles to circulate his inner mana and activates Cat's eyes with a minor action, closing his eyes and opening them again, now transformed from wolf-like to cat-like. Steadying himself into a fighting stance afterward, he roars out,
I'll teach you to ignore me, pests.
and makes a spinning kick and punch attack against 1 Dream Eater. 10, Shingar accuracy check. Topmost Dream Eater. Power 20 check. 9. 7 plus 5 plus 2 equals 14 applied damage since there's no defense.
Dead.
Rex spins on his heel and delivers a devastating kick to the Dream Eater, breaking its form and sending it flying against the nearby wall.
The Dream Eater splats against the window with a satisfying splat noise.
Well, I think taking care of what's behind Rex is a good idea.
You can jump over the seats and do a downward axe hit if you wanna.
Sure, that sounds cool.
It's your show.
I'll do just that. Repeated strike 1 to the Dream Eater on the right. 11.
Easy hit.
Power. 6. 7 plus 5 is equal to 12 damage.
You flip over the seats, landing your axe square on the monster's body, cleaving it in half just like you did with the others.
Typhon moves swiftly, going over some of the seats, jumping over one, and then smashing it with the axe.
Demon blood and guts all over the floor. And the victim. But you can clean that up later.
Grondal moves 3 meters and shoots with his GLB, Grondal's long bow. Aimed attack 1, 10.
That does hit.
Power 22, crit 11. 4, 2 plus 3 is equal to 5 physical.
The creature is wounded but not dead. An arrow now sticks out of it.
Die, Defiler.
One surviving Dream Eater begins to flee deeper into the train. That one guy is still very much not breathing. It is your turn again.
I cast Awaken on him. Should be within 3 meters.
Should be.
Spell casting. 9.
The passenger suddenly jolts up with a loud gasp, then starts coughing before sinking back to the ground in exhaustion. He is alive and relatively well and awake again.
What about the assistant conductor? Is he there, or is he not? I'm confused about him.
He was a normal guy, a nightmare, and is also sleeping. The one we just chased was maybe eating him.
He is there, he is a nightmare, and you saved his life by shooting that arrow.
Rex can chase the guy. Or rather, he def will. How's your move?
I can move up to 13 with a normal.
18 myself. So, I go in front of it, and you behind it?
Sure.
As in, I go ahead of it. Alright, I'll go first, then. If that's legal, I will move there. Around it and then blocking it, fluff-wise, not really mechanically. And then attack.
Get back here.
Rex growls after the escaping demon. He turns and sprints after it, under it, and using the seats as a platform, jumps into the air and tries to punt the thing with a punch attack first.
I'll allow you to slide under it because it's a flying creature. It has taken flight last turn, by the way.
Indeed, hence why I'm going with my better accuracy attack. Wouldn't want to miss. And alrighty, here we go then. Iron Knuckles accuracy check against Dream Eater. 13.
Roll damage.
Power 5 check. 5. 1 plus 7 is equal to 8 applied damage.
That should do it.
Rex punts the thing into the other wall once again, with the momentum of his strike.
Okay, so. Upon punching straight through the last Dream Eater, you arrive at the food car. To your shock, you discover that it ain't over yet. You are greeted by a disturbing sight. As before, people are slumped over in their seats. 2 Dream Eaters are sucking on victims. However, at the end of the hole, you spy another figure. A short, stout man wearing an ill-fitting uniform. From under his hat, you spy 3 eyes. 2 tentacles emerge, ripping through his uniform, revealing a dwarf, warped in form to be nigh unrecognizable. The waitress you met in your dream lays before his feet. The Dream Eaters notice you and take flight. It is your turn again.
Do we get a free move to get into the car?
Oh no, the waitress. We gotta save her. She gave us booze and food. And laughed at the dwarf.
Gotta rescue her. She gave me nice iced coffee. Can I roll for a knowledge check to try to identify the monster or creature?
He is just about to sink his tentacles into her when he stops and notices you.
Don't you dare, bastard.
Rex howls at him and looking, and probably launches into combat.
You can roll monster knowledge. And it's your turn. You can all act. Give them hell.
14.
Typhon identified the boss as Possessed Conductor, a third-level monster with 3 sections. A humanoid that was possessed by a Barku. The demon has taken control, warping the conductor's flesh into a distorted monstrosity. It hasn't fully transformed his body to manifest completely into the real world. As such, it isn't at full strength. 2 large tentacles sprout from his back, and a third eye on his forehead. The conductor will likely never return to his prior form. Killing him would be a mercy at this point.
Oh god, no, it's multi-section.
We ought to get rid of the tentacles first.
Then I shoot the master of the SMIGT or MSMIGT. Can I shoot a tentacle?
Yes, I do believe.
13.
You hit.
8, 6 plus 3 plus 3 is equal to 12 physical.
Oh, right, you know his weakness. There is an arrow sticking out of one of the tentacles now. It recoils in pain.
Yap. I can't reach the big shot, so I'll take care of one of the Dream Eaters first.
I'll take the Octo Freak then.
Rex growls in response. I should probably go first so we have enough space to move around.
I can jump over the tables, no worries.
Then feel free to go first then since you initiated.
Typhon jumps up on the table and...
I rush forward, tailing my axe through the ground to charge the enemy, and then jump. Let's see. Repeated strike 1. 10.
All right, that hits.
Power. 7. 8 plus 5 is equal to 13.
That's a kill.
Typhon's axe cleaves cleanly in half the Dream Eater, as clean as a ball of eldritch horror can be cleaned.
All right, Rex's turn.
Rex breaths in again, activating Cat's eyes. Then he roars and breaks into a head-on charge at the monstrous conductor, grabbing at the tentacles in an effort to pull them off or otherwise rip them. Flavored punch attacks, since just punching tentacles would probably not be very strong. He is going to use Armor Piercer for the first attack with Iron Knuckles against the injured tentacle. 11.
And that hits.
Power 5 check, injured tentacle. 9. 7 plus 3 minus 2 is equal to 16 applied damage. Correct me if I do not round down on the Armor Piercer.
He actually should have rounded up, but that was missed during the game.
Tentacle 1 down.
Rex gives a frightening roar as he rips the tentacle from the creature.
You ripped it out of his flesh.
That is my turn then.
The body is now at +6 evasion. Monster turn. The one Dream Eater is trying to hit Rex with Dreamy Gaze. Roll willpower with +1 because the blessing is still in effect.
12.
The thought of cute waitresses fills you with determination. You resist. The boss will cast a spell. He casts Avenger and targets. Rex roll willpower.
10.
On resist, the damage is halved. Okay, so the boss will take 5 damage.
Oh no.
And Rex will take...
I'm fearing the worst.
He's a beefy boy. He will live. Surely.
11 curse magic damage.
Curse? Excuse me?
The 11 I can take, the curse I am a little worried about.
It's just the damage type.
Okay, good. I have no defense anyway.
Tentacle 2 attacks Rex, naturally, since nobody else is within range. Roll evasion versus 12.
15.
And you manage to duck under that incoming tentacle swinging into you. Great, so then it's your turn again. Let them have it.
I smash Dream Eater.
I smell dead Dream Eater.
Repeated strike 1. 8.
I'm at 13 HP, for the record, by the way.
I think Avenger is probably the best spell he has access to.
7. I think I'm not hitting with 8 or 7.
That's sad. Guess no dead Dream Eater this turn.
Rip.
Does our priest have anything to do before I go punch more tentacles?
Only shooting or healing.
Then I might as well try and kill it with my 2 attacks first. It would free you up to hit something else or heal. Rex lunges at the other tentacle with Armor Piercer Iron Knuckle attack. 14.
That hits easy. He rolled like a 6.
Power 5. Crit 11. 5. 1 plus 7 plus 3 minus 2 is equal to 9 applied damage.
Alright.
And then he'll go again. With chain attack. 10 to hit.
That hits barely.
4. 1 plus 7 plus 3 minus 3 is equal to 8 applied damage.
Alright. Tentacle is mangled and beaten but still very much wriggling.
I will move 3 meters.
It is Grondal time to shine.
And cast Cure Wounds on Rex.
Understandable.
9 works. 6, 3 plus 4 is equal to 7 HP.
Thank you. At 20 out of 24.
Alright, enemy turn. The Dream Eater tried to use its unique skill against Grondal, but he resisted. Boss used another spell to gain +2 to physical damage and +2 defense. And the tentacle dealt 11 applied damage to Rex. Then it was the party's turn. Grondal cast a Cure Wounds on Rex, healing him for 6 HP.
Rex, shall we change targets? I have 5 defense, 7 if I use Beetle's Skin.
If Typhon hits the tentacle, Rex has a clean shot at the boss. It has like 3 HP left.
That too, but I am worried about the dream thingy.
And Rex is a powerhouse. He might manage to murder this guy.
I could try and hit the tentacles then since Typhon does more damage.
Sure. Up to you.
Alright. Rex has a higher chance of hitting. It is up to you.
Indeed. So, let's try that. Rex lunges at the tentacle once again.
Rip and tear until it is done. He probably shouts or barks, rather.
Tear the taco out of him.
Iron Knuckles Armor Piercer and Accuracy check against tentacle. 9. Not so great.
You auto-succeed.
Oh. Nice.
He rolled double ones. Roll damage.
Power 5. Crit 11. 6. It is dead on my extra damage alone.
Neat.
Now it's my chance.
So yeah, you ripped off the second tentacle with a fierce rare.
Victorious growl.
Get him horny.
Rex roars.
I use Beetle Skin, making my skin shine with a small metallic shine, almost as a foil. Defense +2 for 3 turns. Then I charge onward at the creature. Don't call me horny, for head. I say to Rex, now let the cute mate girl go, monster. Repeated strike 1, 13.
The thought of cute maids fills you with determination. And you hit.
Power 35, crit 11. 11! Is that a crit? I see. 6. 11 plus 6 plus 5 is equal to 22.
I want to hand out a sword's grace, but I don't think you'll need one.
You can grant me sword's grace if you wish. Typhon swings her axe with unparalleled strength, almost axing the being in half with a single axe attack. It's time for you to go crawl back to the dark hole you come from.
For general good roleplay, and because we are nearing the end anyways, all 3 of you receive a sword's grace. The boss is at 13 HP. And I think it is his probably final turn. Okay, so in a last-ditch effort, the boss will cast Avenger on Rex again since he has done the most damage in total. Crit? No resistance against that.
No, Rex. I'll avenge you for head.
He crits on the spell damage as well and deals 18 magic damage. And takes 5 himself.
Good night it is. -3. 15. Rex is safe for now. Good.
Rex survives, although at death's door still. It is your turn again. The boss is now at 5 HP.
I shall avenge my companion. With fury for vengeance against cute maids and my partner, I guess, with my fists. I attack the boss with the only feat I know of, repeated strike 1. 10.
That hits.
Power 35, crit 11. That'd be 9 plus 5, so 14.
That barely does it.
Awaken, on Rex, spellcasting 10. 1 HP and Rex can see the finale.
Rex startles awake with a bark.
With a final strike, I brandish my axe and cut the foul creature in a diagonal cut, his smaller tendrils and form falling over as I smashed it with my boots, making damn sure it was dead, helping the mate off the ground and then Rex.
You laid the corrupted conductor low. You are victorious. He is now in pieces on the floor.
Coughs blood.
Begone, MSMIGT.
That one, you have to explain.
Master of Spiral Mirrored Inverted Gravitational Train.
Oh, there is still one alive, the Dream Eater. Whoops. Who wants to kill it?
The god comes down and smites the Dream Eater. But jokes aside, not Rex. He is half dead on the floor.
Why not?
The god comes. We helped him. There is no major evil guy.
A golden railroad spike pierces the Dream Eater as it lunges toward Grondal. Just as fast as the railroad spike appeared, it disappeared again.
Grondal falls to the ground preaching prayer. Oh my god.
We have found the reason for the disappearances and hopefully rescued most of them. I think we should try to get the train going and go back to town as soon as possible, just in case any of these need medical attention. I say to my companions after a job well done so that I can go to dinner finally and get rewards and maybe a possible date with this random NPC.
Strasford bestowed upon you another miracle in exchange for the sword's grace you won't be needing anyways.
Divine intervention.
Rex does a thumbs up as he plops back on the ground and growls.
Give me a second.
Let me continue because there is still some potential for exploration and investigation. In the wake of this fierce battle that almost cost one of your allies their life, you find yourself alone among sleeping passengers. Felling the demon has not woken them up, and while you know the potential source of the disappearances, the exact cause still eludes to you. Another realization begins to set in. If that was the conductor, what of the other staff? Are they asleep as well? Can the train operate without its crew? There may be another crisis you need to avert, and fast. And, of course, there are still monsters to loot, so you might want to do that too.
Grondal would like to go to the locomotive to try to see the state of the train and maybe help with operating it if need be.
Meanwhile, Grondal moves to the helm of the train. The helm car is a lot bigger than the others, this one having 2 floors. On the bottom floor, the machine room is located, the heart of this train. On the upper floor, the operator's cabin is located, together with living quarters for the crew. The train's core crew consists of the helmsman, the engineer, the conductor, and the assistant conductor. Additionally, there is a cabin for the serving girl and an onboard medic for medical emergencies during the days-long journey. From your knowledge, since you clearly know your shit when it comes to trains, the conductor's duty includes that the train keeps to the schedule and other administrative tasks like delegating responsibilities among his crew, taking care of the cargo, filing paperwork, etc. As you can surmise from what you have witnessed during your train ride, the assistant conductor takes charge of the on-floor duties, like checking tickets and taking note of any passenger-related problems and queries. If the conductor can't fulfill his duties, for whatever reason, his duties would naturally transfer to the assistant conductor. Since the conductor has been permanently taken off duty, the assistant conductor would be the new conductor, you figure. Meanwhile, the helmsman pilots the train, ensuring the train doesn't derail and that the train arrives at its destination safely. The engineer is responsible for ensuring the engine is working properly, fixing any and all problems that may occur. Since this train basically goes non-stop, you figure this is probably the most demanding job of all. The server you have already met, at least in your dream. The medic has his cabin double as his office, where he can treat patients in an emergency. The 6 cabins on the upper floor are clearly labeled for whom they belong, while the downstairs area has a singular door labeled machine room. Not every train has an assistant conductor, but this one does. Probably because this train operation is pretty involved. I mean, it is a multi-day trip from Kingsfall all the way to Rayners. While this is a very fast train, it still takes a long time.
Is there anyone here? Is the train being operated normally?
The train has some sort of Magi-Tech steering assistant. You know, however, that these aren't perfect and are not supposed to pilot the train by themselves. If the helmsman doesn't wake up soon, the train could derail and people will get hurt. Just to note, there may be some ways on this train to wake people up.
11.
As you go through the car, you find every single crew member asleep. You can roll priest and intelligence to check what's going on with the machine, because I assume a Strasford priest could tell since trains are his holy domain.
I cast Awaken on him. 7.
Awaken does work. The helmsman wakes up. What? Just 5 more minutes, honey, he says before turning back around. He seems pretty sleepy still.
By Strasford, you are awake. We are on the move, and the train needs your help. Strasford needs your help. Grondal says to the helmsman.
The hellman stirs again. Strasford. What? He rises up, supporting himself with his hands. Who the hell are you? What's going on? The conductor got the train. It's like 4 a.m. or some shit. Why are you bothering me?
Everyone is either dead or asleep. We've been under attack by demons. You are this train's final hope.
Demons? You real? He says while rubbing his eye. This gotta be a dream or something.
Go check the cabins. There are dead demons. But we might be dead by then from the derailed train.
Shit man, I'll pilot the fucking train. It's my day job, after all. Can you bring me some coffee, at least?
Good, but first coffee for the train. It deserves it. I cast grease on the train's mechanisms. 7 works.
You go down to the machine room and grease the gears with the weirdest spell in the game. +2 meters limited move. With utmost grease. Really? Meanwhile, in the other part of the train.
I would help the maid girl wake up and check on the other asleep people, ensuring everyone was fine before checking if the enemies dropped anything.
Seeing Grondal move forward into the train, Rex growls.
If you need something, just shout.
Not realizing until later he is still in his beast form, and the dwarf can't understand him. Then, he'd take a small breather before getting up himself, realizing his form, and turning back to his handsome self before checking on the waitress as well, with keen interest. If you're hurt, miss, I've got some healing herbs I wouldn't mind sharing, he says, suppressing a wince from his own injuries, which he intends to see later.
To your dismay, the waitress is not waking up anytime soon. She is, as you figure, stuck in her personal dream realm, similar to how you were. This magically induced sleep isn't so easily broken. She seems to be sleeping peacefully, not much worse for wear. However, not everyone was so lucky. Some are clearly in pain, Bitamax littering their body from the Dream Eater attacks. Others are physically weakened, their breath growing faint.
Speaking of, seeing that the waitress is still out, Rex scratches his head for a bit before remembering the priest casting Awaken on one of the previous passengers. He goes to check on whether that one is still also asleep like the others, by trying to shake him awake in case he just passed out from the injuries previously.
The guy who got woken up before. He opens his eyes after you give him a firm shake. He can't really speak, though.
Is it obvious why he can't? He looks like a sleeping person with open eyes, then, or...
He is mortally wounded. While he is conscious and alive and probably stable, he is still in mortal peril and may die if he doesn't get any treatment soon.
Hey Rex, we should tend to the people who are hurt. Do you have life grass to make bandages for those who need them?
Rex waves at her. Yeah, give me a minute. Rex grumbles at his state and goes to administer him the life grass he found before he returns to his other business. Power 10, life grass. 8 for +3 is equal to 7 HP to the wounded passenger. if that is how one would go about treating this. If it would be some kind of medicine check, given his state, let me know, and I shall roll that instead.
That should tide him over for the time being until he can get some proper medical attention, that is.
I don't have any life grass, so I'll go remove the demon things from the train cars. I say to Rex, if you need help with anything, say so though. I want to check the demon corpses and grab anything of value if anything dropped, as well as clean them out of the train.
Sure, you can just roll 7 2d6. After many rolls, you get for demon's blood 100 gamels each, and 1 demon fangs, 150 gamels.
I save them in my inventory to share them with the party and split them as evenly as I can afterward.
You can go sell those once you arrive. I assume some researcher will gladly take this demon material off your hand.
He will pat the man on the back and put him down on one of the seats so he's in a more stable position and secure him there a little. Then he will go back to the waitress and feed her his awake potion in an attempt to also wake her up. Wakey wakey, sleeping beauty. Let's see if this works as well as the little man's spells.
After fetching some coffee, Grondal will rejoin others with a happy look on his face and a sense of fulfilled mission.
She wakes up. I will go roll to see if she is attracted to you. After several rolls. Anyways, she looks at Rex and sighs. Thank you. Could you let go of me, sir? Please? She seems thankful but slightly uncomfortable. I pictured Rex holding her in his arms or something as he says that because he looks like a guy who would do that. You can ask her questions at this point, or I could info dump you if you want. Now, as she gets up and looks around, she is clearly disturbed by the grisly scene. I think the maid can infer from the way the conductor is cut in two and from your massive axe that you did deal the finishing blow to the creature. She is shaking but isn't panicking, though, sort of as if she knew something was going to happen.
He is that kind of guy. He was deaf trying to have a moment to impress her. Rex smiles, "You're welcome, miss," and helps her stand up. "You need some healing too," he says, waving a piece of life grass in his hand. "I know a thing or two about that. Best make sure the octofreak didn't take a bite out of you after all."
If you could roll me one, that would be good. I kinda feel like I need a smoke break after all of this, she says, averting her eyes from the corpse of the conductor.
He is a bit surprised by the manner in which she wants it to have administered, but nods. Sure, leave it to me. Afterward, he goes and prepares it for her. I imagine no need to actually roll HP for her on this one.
You can if you want, but it's not really necessary. Smoking live grass isn't that uncommon, I don't think. I'm thinking it probably works to calm one's nerves a bit too.
Meanwhile, checking and cleaning some of the mess we left after dispatching the creatures, I decided to check the corpse of the former conductor, too, after making sure the cute maid girl was okay since there was so much emphasis on her.
You can roll Sage Observation to inspect the corpse.
Are we still blessed by Strasford?
Yes. The maid moves over to the counter and makes some coffee.
Well, good thing we arrived when we did then. Now let's see what we have here. 8.
You haven't seen or read about this sort of corruption of the flesh before. It is unsettling. One thing is sort of for sure, a demon was involved. There were runes carved into his torso, seemingly self-inflicted. You move over to what remains of his uniform and find a key and a pocket watch. Also, judging from the character art, Typhon is dressed pretty lightly on her upper body, right? How muscular do you figure she is?
Since she's a warrior, I'd say she has at least a bit of muscle, I guess, but not too much.
The waitress is looking at Typhon as she speaks, seems to stare a little bit, and then turns back to move along with coffee making. Yes, thank you. You clearly put your back into it. Anyways, do you want some coffee? Some booze, maybe. It's on the house, of course. You guys did save our bacon, after all.
For the helmsman, please. 1 coffee.
She responds. For the helmsman. 1 coffee with extra cream and sugar coming right up.
Oh, well, if so, I'd like a cup of iced coffee then. I asked since I really liked it the last time I tried, and it was my first.
Iced coffee for the pretty lady, right away. She seems to kinda stumble over her own words, letting out nervous laughter like she is trying to play her comment off as a joke.
I give her a small smile as she says that thanks.
Free booze? Well, count me in. Rex shouts. Leave it for me there, miss. I'll check on the rest of the passengers first, he says as he heads off back into the train to check on the other passengers and the conductor. He can't wake them up, but at least make sure they aren't mortally wounded. Realizing that, actually, he'd probably shout again from further away, "Hey train lover, get over here and wake the nightmare conductor up too. We'll need some help with all these sleeping people."
Okay. She says, sort of unsure, then turns to Typhon. Hey, do you know what the big guy wants? We have an assortment of booze, and he didn't specify.
To be honest, not really. We barely started being part of the same party. Just grab him a normal beer. I'm sure he'll be happy with that.
All right. Good idea. Okay, so you have a key that you found on the conductor, Typhon. Would you want to try and figure out where that might fit?
Yes, I would like to do that.
If you don't have any idea, insight might work.
I don't really remember stumbling upon any locked stuff, so I will try to roll for insight. 11.
You figure that the key may unlock his office, private quarters. You can guess it must be at the helm. There isn't really any other place it could be.
Grondal will wake everyone at the helm first.
That makes sense. You are expending mana for each, after all.
He will try to shake them, since he has only 1 cast left.
Sadly, shaking them does not seem to work that well. You can roll insight, though.
7.
Maybe the medic has some way to wake them up, like maybe an awake potion works as well as the awaken spell. The doc may be able to whip something up.
Grondal will cast Awaken on the medic. 11.
It turns out he is a she. It's just hard to tell under that big white lab coat and that fluffy sweater. She had been sleeping at her desk. Upon waking up, she jolts up, saying, "Pudding." Pee, and then wipes the drool off her mouth before noticing your presence. Yes, hello. Are you hurt? Is there an emergency?
Yes, demons, most of the people are asleep. Demons are dead. Please help us in this perilous moment.
She is shocked upon hearing the demons, and then relieved when you say the demons are dead. Oh, good. Good. You had me worried for a second. Are you with the Adventurers Guild? You seem the adventurous type, a veritable train traveler of sorts. I'm sure you could manage. You and yours are well, I take. Are right. Sleep, you say. I might have something. Give me a second. She rambles on before rummaging through her back. Are here. Magical smelling salts, synthesized from chrysalis extract. It should wake anyone up, sleep enchantment or no. Simply hold this under the nose of the affected, and they should jolt up within a second. If they don't, then they may have come down with a mild case of death. Let's hope they didn't. Will you assist me in waking the passengers and crew up?
Yes, from the Adventurers Guild and the Church of Strasford. I will administer to those still alive.
Okay, then our dwarfen friend will be busy for a while with the doc waking up the crew and passengers. Just as the doc said, holding the solution under the nose of the person makes them violently jolt up and awake. They look like they have smelled the worst thing in existence, too. That disgust does fade within a few seconds, but they still look sort of upset.
I wait for the iced tea to arrive before making any move since I did ask for it. But as soon as I got it, I moved to the helm to reunite with Grondal after thanking her.
Soon enough, you get your iced coffee. She hands it over to you with a smile. There you go. And thanks again for saving me.
No problem. That's what adventurers are for. Glad you're okay, though. I say, smiling back as I drank the tea. I'm going to the helm now. If you see my partner, tell him I moved on to there since I found something that may give us some insight into what happened.
Oh, okay, I will. Take care. She seems a little worried.
Had Rex found any other fatalities or immediate care cases? If not, he shall head back as well for his booze and to report.
Some that need medical attention, yes, but thankfully, no casualties. You managed to prevent the worst with your timely intervention. A big mug of beer is waiting for you.
Upon returning, he will lean against the counter and stretch. Everyone else is fine. Then he will grab the glass, examining it with an appreciative whistle before turning to the waitress, smiling, cheers then, and proceeds to down it. Setting the glass down in one motion afterward. Looking around, he looks at her puzzled. The others move to the front. He says, thumbing in the direction of the locomotive.
Your dwarfen friend is currently helping the passengers, I believe. While the nice lady in your company said she would investigate the helm. I assume she means to investigate the conductor's private quarters. Listen. Stay safe in there, okay? Keep your friend safe too. There is no telling if there aren't any more demons lurking within that cabin. Just be careful.
He laughs and pats his muscular chest for effect. Nothing to be afraid of with me here. I'll keep the short ones in one piece, so don't worry about us. Listen here though, if something shows up here or further down the train, you better holler so we can rush over in time, alright?
Alright then. Take care. Okay, so in the meantime, Typhon got a chance to investigate. The key indeed unlocks the door labeled Conductor, as you might suspect. They are fairly cramped, housing a bed, some shelves set into the wall, a desk, and a dresser. Nothing immediately jumps out at you, but you have this awful feeling when entering. A sinister aura permeates the place, despite its mundane look. You can roll to investigate, of course.
Rex will leave the dining car with a back-facing wave and start striding towards the end of the train where the others are.
Adventurer observation to do a regular sweep of the area, sage observation to figure out any more arcane things, maybe finding some clues in the documents, and scout or ranger observation to look for hidden things. I'll allow ranger for this one, despite the distinct lack of natural environment.
I'll do a general sweep first. Adventurer observation. 9.
After digging around, you mostly find paperwork and documents relating to train operations. You do, however, discover 2 books, both labeled as Conductor's Journal. From a cursory glance, one seems like official documentation of train operation, likely for the railway company to keep archived. The other one, however, seems to be a personal diary. The personal one has the label Conductor's Journal, with the word conductor crossed out.
I check the one that has conductors crossed out since that one strikes me as very odd for an official document.
As stated, it's a sort of personal diary. You can guess that he took a blank one and just used it for himself. The entries are in chronological order, so it's probably best to start at the beginning. He writes that he sort of picked up writing a personal journal out of boredom. It seems like he wasn't very happy in his job, positing that he is stuck in this job after being with the company for decades. He used to run a smaller line around King's Fall, but when the Infinite Express was introduced, he got picked for the position of conductor. He was surprised but saw it as a big chance at the time. However, the work was not exactly what he expected. He complains about his bitch wife probably cheating on him while he is out here in the frozen north, running the train to and fro, day after day, month after month. Of course, he isn't on the train all the time, and he does get breaks where he has weeks off, but it seems like his fellow conductors keep shirking responsibilities onto him because, as he puts it, nobody is insane enough to run this Strasford damn train line. Then one day, he was approached by a passenger in the hallway, right outside the door to the helm. He couldn't get a good look at the man. It seemed like the hole was darker than usual. The stranger told him that he saw potential. The conductor was confused, but the stranger invited him out to drink, and the conductor obliged, being currently off duty. He drank lots on the stranger's tab until the stranger posited a strange question. He couldn't recall what the question was, but he remembers being perplexed. Ultimately, he agreed and received a tome. He began studying this tome in his free time. As the pages go on, the conductor's handwriting becomes more unhinged, and it is harder and harder to discern his meaning. What you can glean is that at some point, he figured that the time wasn't a tome at all but rather a creature. He explains that he has been speaking with the creature and has received an offer from it. If he takes it, he may attain eternal youth, power, all he ever wished for. In exchange, the creature would need sacrifices. So the conductor has been hatching a plan. He also explains that, since starting to read, he has discovered he has strange powers. Strange magic he has never seen before. In one of the more lucid pages, he explains his plan. He would use his powers to perform a ritual that would bring sleep to the train. Then he would let the creature feed on some of the passengers. This explanation was from a few months ago. He later goes on to state that he can't keep doing this, people caught on faster than he would think, but the creature demanded ever greater sacrifices. He went on to kidnap random people, mostly homeless and prostitutes, with his powers, letting the creature feed, now described as being within him, on them as well. A day ago, he wrote that he suspected the waitress had discovered something. He notes that some adventurers have boarded the train. This isn't unusual, but he has a hunch that they are after him. Fearing his cover to be blown, and the creature demanding one grand sacrifice in order to fully merge, he puts everyone to sleep one last time, and takes up his knife. The remaining page is written in a language you don't understand. The script is in common. The words are not. They read as gibberish. This has happened before in the journal, but this is where it starts to be exclusively gibberish till the final page.
Cool.
I retell the tale of the book and the discoveries to my companions. I think we should probably submit this to the guild. Hopefully, they can catch whoever is doing this. Considering we just started, and all this sounds way out there.
Especially about the new train model, SMIGT. This is exciting.
I put on a small fake smile toward Grondal. You really like the trains, huh?
Rex finds the whole additional problem stemming from the journals to be too much of a bother to deal with, so he is definitely on the hand this over to the guild since this seems beyond their current quest description anyway. Let's actually go and enjoy this all-expenses paid trip now. Rex roars victoriously after the crisis is averted.
Thus concludes the adventure, Death on the Infinite Express. You get 2,300 gamels each for your efforts, rewarding you as 1 to 3 level adventurers because this adventure was a bit out of the depth of first adventure, I feel, with a 50 gamels bonus for delivering that letter from the Rainers Adventurers Guild. You also get 1,590 EXP and 230 gamels each for the loot you got. Some bonus EXP for the session being basically 2 in 1. Don't forget to roll growth. You get to grow twice because this was sort of a two-parter.
Thanks for the game.
Thanks. It was very fun.
Thanks for the game. Definitely interested in playing Rex again in a possible continuation, should I be free.